Love is a very powerful human emotion that is characterized by strong feelings of affection, care, trust, a deep attachment or attraction for someone. The categorization of love. It's the first being passionate love, the second being compassionate love, and then the final one being consummate love. The mistake we make sometimes as humans is to assume that passionate love is enough to sustain romantic love. No, sir. No, ma. Love is an action word. Yeah, it may be a noun, but it's actually an action word. It's something that needs to be cultivated. It's something that needs to be watered. It needs to be worked on for it to bloom. Let's settle this once and for all. Who better to be in a relationship with, if not your bestie, if not your best friend? Hey, please go ahead and be with your best friend if the Lord is leading you to do that.
Hi there. Welcome to TRZ with Tomi Stone, where we speak truth to life on faith, relationships, and lifestyle.
Okay, let's go.
Trust me, is one of the best experiences you could ever have, because that way you already have a lot of shocks and balances, and you don't get to have too much friction because you already know each other. Well, to be fair, there are several times that besties don't do well in relationships, right? And this is what we're talking about. This is where you need to understand the balance, because think about it this way: when you have a bestie, there is already compassionate love. And that is probably the reason why you both are besties. But think about it: if the passionate love is not adding up, then you have no business being in a relationship. So this may answer someone's question today. Oh, you've been thinking about it. I think I have feelings for my bestie, but I'm not so sure. Think well. Remember what we said before, there needs to be a balance in these different categories of love. If the passionate love is not existent, don't force it. You don't need to force it. You must actually have attraction for that person. You must have affection, affinity for that person. So don't go courting your bestie just because we're besties, so why not if not? No, there has to be a proper balance of compassionate love, passionate love. If the passion is missing, don't force it. Don't force it, because if you use AI to generate it, chances are that it will fizzle out really fast. So we have to be real with ourselves. We have to be real with ourselves when we consider these things. So I digress, by the way. We're talking about the fact that when you are in the process of building a romantic relationship, there are different forms of love that it's a must, that must be existent for that romantic love, or for that relationship to thrive. Think about the different types of love that we've talked about. If philia is missing from your romantic love, there's a problem. If agape love is missing from your romantic love, there's a problem. There's bound to be a bigger problem. Because think about it. I mean, there are sometimes you see people ask questions, so why exactly do you love me? And sometimes some people say, oh, because you're pretty, oh, because you're kind, oh, because you're... Trust me, if you're still able to make a list of reasons, chances are that it's still not unconditional. Conditional love comes without conditions. I mean, that is agape love for you, without conditions. So we've talked about the philia being present in a romantic love for it to thrive, and then the agape love. Now, let's be real. The eros love is very, very important in a romantic relationship. To be very fair, there are some times that it grows over time. You see people who get into love relationships. I mean, we know we've seen this in movies before. People get into love relationships as a duty, and then they just convince themselves that over time the love is going to grow. When they say the love is going to grow, they're actually talking about eros love, that intimacy and then the passion. But then, if eros love is missing from your relationship, from your romantic relationship, it is headed for major failure. You need to think about it properly. Let's move into the philautia love, which is self-love. This is one of the types of love that is often abused in relationships. When one person has too much self-love for themselves, that is not a healthy dose, they tend to become narcissistic. Because think about it, at the end of the day, all you can think about is yourself. In that relationship, you are only all out for that relationship to serve you. Once it's not serving you, it becomes a problem. As much as filial love is important in a romantic relationship, and why do I say that? You need to love yourself first. Before your partner can actually love you adequately, it is important that you love yourself first. You have to first of all love yourself. There are some times that people become doormats, or trampling grounds in relationship just because there's no healthy dose of self-worth and a proper gauge of identity. So because of that, when you have first of all not found yourself, and you don't understand your identity, and you don't have a healthy dose of self-worth, it is very, very possible that your partner could walk all over you. And that is why filial love is very, very important in a romantic relationship. You must love yourself in a healthy way. So right now, we know that in a romantic relationship, you need a healthy dose of lotus love, which is the flirty love. I mean, what's a romantic love when you can't flirt, you can't, be playful with each other, you don't have moments where you play together, where you actually tease each other and stuff like that.
Bombastic side eye.
Yo, I don't know about that. You must like your partner. You must find your partner attractive. It's important. It's very important. See, you have to find your partner attractive. You must find your partner attractive. I mean, why else would you be in a relationship when you don't find your partner attractive? It's important. So the errors too counts. In fact, it counts the more when it comes, because that is the decider of a romantic relationship. Why it is not romantic until there's errors. So let's move along to the final one, which is the pragma love. The pragma love is the enduring, long-lasting kind of love that has grown over time from experience, your ups and downs that you've been through together. And by virtue of that, you both have come to a better knowledge of one another, and it helps you to better understand yourselves and be in a relationship that is healthy. Let's be real. We might unanimously come to the conclusion that it is not necessarily easy to find anyone who has a balanced dose of all these types of love that we have talked about, which is the truth, because we all are a work in progress. I mean, we all are a product of everything we've been through in our lives, values, trauma, experiences, At the end of the day, these are things that make us who we are. And for that reason, it's not always realistic to imagine that you're going to find a person who has a perfect balance. I'm talking perfect balance now. All of us, everyone should have a balance. But finding a person who has a perfect balance might be an issue. And that is the beauty of a romantic relationship. The whole idea is to grow together and become better while holding your hands together. And become better while holding yourselves down. But then it becomes a risk factor when you are literally seeing red lights. You are seeing the signs. You see the signs. You can literally tell that this person's eros love is on like 1000%, and when it comes to the philia, well, maybe because I'm older than you by like 5 years, so I mean, you are probably even supposed to still be calling me Boda on a normal day, but because we're in love now, I can look away from that. But regardless, you cannot disrespect me, brother. As soon as you went ahead to indicate your interest in that person, you set yourself up for friendship, for the kind of friendship that can put you on the same level. Because friendship dynamics is easier when you're on the same level, when you're both at par, not the type where you are acting like the one up the ladder and then you have to help the other person up and then you're feeling all high and mighty. No, it doesn't work that way. How do you identify these things when you meet a person? When someone comes to meet you and shows interest in you for a relationship? How can you tell that there is not potential toxicity ahead that can literally mar that relationship? Why would it be difficult to apply compassionate love in a romantic relationship? At the end of the day, everyone is a product of one trauma or the other. No matter how healthy you think your upbringing, your experiences in life has been, no matter how privileged you think you have been, there is definitely bound to be a kind of trauma that is still lurking somewhere underneath the surface before you ever even get into any kind of relationship. And by nature, these things have a way of rearing up once in a while, either in the future or anyhow, and posing a potential risk to our relationships. And that's why we realize that sometimes you start off really nice. You could start off really nice. Oh, he's always calling you 24/7. As a matter of fact, you go through that love bombing stage where, oh, the love is just shocking everybody in quotes. You know the way we like to say it. And then as time goes on, you realize that the law of diminishing returns starts to occur in the relationship, and it's just not as juicy as it used to be. And by reason of the fact that you're not going to live your life stuck in a house forever, you're definitely going to go around, meet people, and then you realize that you probably see someone that is more interesting. You start to feel like, am I sure that I was supposed to actually be in that relationship? Bros, you lie. You lie. You enjoyed it when it was still at the lotus stage where you were flirty and teasing and playful with each other. All of a sudden, because over time now, everything has passed out a little bit. Life is lifing, different scenarios are playing out in your individual lives, and for that reason, you're not able to keep up with that level of lotusness that was inherent in a relationship before. All of a sudden you start to feel like, oh, maybe I made the wrong choice. Bro, you're just not putting in the right amount of effort. Put in the work, bro. Love is an actual word. Don't get it twisted. Don't let anybody deceive you. We have to be practical with love. Now, forget theory, forget poem, forget love notes and all. You have to actually be practical when it comes to love. You must get down and dirty. I say that in a nice way anyways. And it all starts from the heart. It starts from the heart. Listen, if you do not learn the culture of agape in your romantic love, there is bound to forever be a problem. You meet a nicer person. You will still meet a prettier person. You will meet a richer person. You will meet a more gentlemanly person. Right? You will meet a girly person that will just make you feel like the man. You will see Orishi. You're gonna see a lot, bro. But then the decision that you make in your heart to have a balance of those three categories we talked about, the passionate, compassionate, and consummate, is what will continue to keep you in check through the help of God. By the way, disclaimer, this topic is a long one, a very long one, and we're going to have a sequel. We're definitely having a sequel on this topic because it's really deep. And why do I say so? For every time that your love relationship is under siege, or you're not able to express your romantic love properly, it will diffuse into every other aspect of your life. Why? Because we're human, and this has to do with our emotions. Remember, we said love is a strong human emotion. Have you ever had moments where you do some things and you just look at yourself like, me? How did I become this person? Hey, this love, this love matter now. Wow. Now, wow. You understand? Like, let's be real with ourselves. There's always, and give yourself some grace. But at the same time, we need to be well equipped to be able to handle our love relationships properly. I'm speaking on a general term now. It gets to become a totally different conversation when we add the God factor into the middle of all of this. there's a problem when the very thing in front of your mind every time you think about a romantic relationship is intimacy. The only thing you ever think about when you're thinking about romantic love is how to enter the places that are not meant to be entered, how to touch the things that are not meant to be touched. You understand what I'm talking about? How to press the I don't need to use the whole of my mouth to say it. You already know what I mean. If the first thing in your mind when you consider a romantic relationship is the body, only the body, I'm on a body, my dear. You go and see body, you'll be tired. Especially in this day and age where everybody can modify whatever they like anyhow, so far as you have the money. If it's body, you go and get body, bro. But the point is, can you be that person's body? Can you both be buddies for real? Can you actually be genuine friends? Can you be selfless with each other? Myself and my husband often say this, that the reason why a lot of relationships fail is very simple. We can wrap it all up in one thing, which is selfishness. Don't forget I said most relationships. Selfishness. Because think about it. The only thing you consider from time to time is yourself. Myself. Why don't you love me? Why don't you call me? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? You spoke to me anyhow, and I don't like it. For that reason, I don't know. And then you didn't do this for me. You didn't get me this kind of gift. I see other people doing this for their partners. Agape love is unconditional. Unconditional. You don't have to have a reason. As a matter of fact, you wake up on days and you would probably not be eros about the love on that day. The passion might be missing. That is the time for you to draw from the philia. When the passion is gradually diffusing, small, the passion is gradually diffusing out, you grab the philia and you pull it. By the time you start to fan the embers of the philia again, you realize that you begin to see that agape will start to rear up. It will start to rear up, and then from there, your eros can get back on track. These are the issues. So, why is it that love is not enough? Why? And by the way, when people talk about toxic love, I would often think that, respectfully, I don't think toxic and love should be in the same sentence, because toxic speaks to poisonous, speaks to unpleasant, speaks to harmful, speaks to... So why? You just say toxic relationship, don't say toxic love. There's nothing like toxic love, bro. Okay? Love is love. Love is just love is just love. Let's just leave love where it is and not taint it. When it starts to get tainted, that's no longer love. So you cannot talk about toxic love because it's invalid. Love goes all the way. Love is devoid of anything harmful, anything hurtful. Love is just love. Love is God. It's important to understand that every time we try to give these things a new name, red flags, toxicity, this, all that, sometimes we assume that until you see the very red ones, that is when they are valid. Listen, there are some red lights that come and look like fuchsia pink, like some even look like baby pink. You will not be able to tell exactly, this is a red light. I think we can manage. And then, that thing that pushes us to say from time to time, he will change over time. I feel like time will help us outgrow these issues. Hey, time will lock you down. Listen, time will tie you down. Time will make you feel indebted. Time will make you feel emotionally shackled. You will begin to see it like, after all the time I've invested in this thing, how do I start all over? I mean, where do I start from? Who's going to see me? And then, I can't forget the memories. I can't forget the, all the things we've been through. How do I just throw away 4 years? My dear, throw it far away. In fact, javelin it, shot put it, discard it as fast as you can. You can't manage a bad relationship. Don't manage a bad relationship. Stay away from toxicity. Listen, red flags don't always come in red. Sometimes the red flags will come in something very close to your best color. God help you if you're colorblind, you mistake it for something you can manage. That is potential problem. That is potential failure lurking around the corners, and you need to think about it. You need to run far away from it. You need to do everything possible to make sure you're not caught in the shackles of red flags. So I leave you with this. Red flags sometimes come looking like something similar to your best color. Don't be colorblind. You have to be on guard and be very discerning when it comes to romantic love. All right, thank you guys for sticking with me thus far. We're going to pick this up again, and I'm so glad that you stayed this long. And don't forget, I remain Tomi Stone, and this is The Real One with Tomi Stone, aka TRZ with Tomi Stone. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Okay, let's go.